Good afternoon. I'm Holly Berry Wesley. Welcome to my presentation for Rehab 503 on the Peak Developmental Training System. I hope you will enjoy my presentation. I'm sorry I don't have my cockroach costume on. Without any further ado, here is my presentation. Good afternoon and welcome to my presentation on an application of the Peak Direct Training module. My name is Holly Berry Wesley and I will be presenting this in partial requirement for Rehab 503. The Peak Relational Training System is a program designed to teach verbal and cognitive skills to individuals with autism and other disabilities. It is done in discrete trials and it is fairly simple to implement. I chose 4 training modules because my subject actually tested out the first one I tried. I will get into more detail into the modules I chose and why in just a few minutes. My participant was a 5-year-old girl with a speech delay. She was cooperative and excited to participate in the study. For the procedure, my trials were run over the course of 2 weekends. 3 sets of 5 trials for each module were run. Due to the little girl's diagnosis of a speech delay, I chose modules that were related to receptive language, commanding, and acting to run. A variety of familiar stimuli were used, and they were presented until the subject demonstrated mastery. Stimuli were all items that the subject was familiar with for 5H, follow one-step directions. For the trials, the subject was seated at a table and the items were placed on a table. The subject was then asked to follow a simple direction, such as putting a button into the cup. The stimuli I used were a blue button, green button, a gray button, Hello Kitty toy, chip clip, pink plastic fork, purple sunglasses, green cup, and a blue cup. Again, as we'll get into when we get to results, she did really well with this particular module. The next module proved to be a little more challenging. It was vocal manding. So I presented some items that the little girl would find reinforcing, and I knew this by talking to her mother. And for the first trial, I said, "Tell me what you want." When she was able to demand for the item, she did receive it. So if she said, "I want Skittles," she got a Skittle. The first trial, I did prompt her, and then after that, it was independent. So she saw the item. So if I showed her an orange, she'd say orange. The stimuli I used included an apple, orange, bubble gum, Skittles, M&Ms, record marker, crayon, coloring book, water, and milk. So all things that she enjoyed. The next module I chose was tact reinforcing items. The subject was presented with pictures of items that were previously found to be reinforcing. The pictures were shown to her one at a time while she sat at a table, and I asked her in the first trial, "What is this?" And she was able to name most of them except for the scooter. This was presented more than once because she did describe the function of the item at first. The pictures presented were of a horse, Hello Kitty, boots, scooter, nail polish, Anna and Elsa from Frozen, a doll, a bike, and popcorn. The next module was tacting common items, and this one proved to be slightly more difficult for my subject. She was presented with pictures of common household items such as a vacuum, dishes, table and chairs, coffee pot, a computer, a TV, a frying pan, bed, a Christmas tree, and a chair. Again, the pictures were presented one at a time with the question, "What is this?" during the initial trials. And again, that prompt was faded in additional trials, and she would see the picture and just say the name. However, she did need additional prompts and practice to master the picture of the frying pan, the TV, and a coffee pot, because again, she described the function of the item. You cook food in it, you watch movies on it, etc. For results, you will see by the graph before you that for following one-step directions, she had mastery in every trial on the first try. So that one was a good, but however, it was a good learning experience for her because she learned how to sit still and participate in the trials. So I did decide to include the results. However, I did have to go and choose additional modules to run. The next one was in the area of vocal manding. Now this one was where she showed a great deal of improvement, and in the future I would like to work with her on this again to continue her improvements. She needed a few prompts, but she was quickly able to attain mastery with all stimuli by the time the trials were finished. So if you look, at first she needed prompts, so she had a lower score because in the PEAK system you get fewer points when you need a prompt. But by the time that she was finished, she was independent, and so therefore she received all of her points. For tacting reinforcing items, she actually did pretty well with this right off the bat. She did struggle with one item, a picture of a scooter, so she did need some additional prompts for that, but overall she did really well with that, and she did achieve mastery with the pictures of the items by the final trial. Tacting common items. This was another area where my subject showed a great deal of improvement. She at first struggled to name common items correctly and instead described the function of every item, but with intensive prompting and practice, she did achieve mastery by the final trial. Overall, my subject showed the most improvement in the areas of vocal manding and tacting common items. And as you can see from the multi-element graph, the subject did show steady improvement through each phase of the study, except, of course, for the first area, which she just did perfectly right off the bat. Although this program is designed primarily for children, I do look forward to using it with the adults I work with in the future. They are developmentally delayed with other diagnoses, including autism, so it would be really useful to help them develop these speech and language skills and cognitive skills. And I would also like to work some more with my little subject and help her learn how to man for the desired items. Thank you.
So that was my presentation. Thank you, Ryan and Dr. Dixon, for a great class. I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Hope to see you guys both next semester. Thanks again. Bye.